You know, immediately, always as I pick up a St. Croix rod, I can tell right away the craftsmanship that goes into these rods, from the components and even to the color of the new blank. You know, this is actually an updated color on the Legend Tournament Inshore. And besides the makeover that St. Croix did give these rods, they also added models to the line as well. And here to tell me more about it is Alex, my friend from St. Croix.
Thanks, Matt. So, like you said, they got a makeover. They look really sharp, a little bit different blue. We had to stay with that tournament blue because everyone just knows that color and it looks great. But beyond the physical, what we're looking at here, the rods themselves got a big change in the blank. So we went from our SC4 carbon, which is what all the previous tournament series was made of, to our SC4 Plus. And the Plus is really adding a material called SC6. And by adding that, it allows us to reduce the amount of material that we use overall and really lighten the rods up. So while these maintain the power that a tournament rod is known for, they're much lighter, 20 to 25%
I can tell
lighter.
right away picking
Absolutely,
it up.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And like you said, we added models too. So models that we kind of vetted out in our previous version of our recent version of Mojo Inshore, we added to this because we liked them so much. So, for example, I'm holding here a 7.9, extra heavy, moderate fast. It's a great tarpon stick, striper rod, yellowfin tuna, very versatile for just big fish, cobia, big reds, things like that.
So basically, it's almost a rod for any type of fish.
Exactly, yeah. 7.3
awesome.
Light for bonefish if you're traveling down, or weak fish.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely different models to do virtually anything. Big plugs, lightweight, little plastics, you name it.
Right.
So that's Legend Tournament Inshore. The biggest thing here that you gotta feel it to believe it. It's just so light while maintaining that power. So
it really is so light. You guys gotta check these out for yourself. And aside from the Legend Tournament Inshore, I know you guys have some new Rift rods too that I was checking out.
Yeah.
I got first-hand look at these rods in the developing stage of them. You guys sent me the 7-foot medium, I believe, and I was pretty blown away by this rod. I call it almost a utility rod. I could do anything with it. I jig sea bass, I jig blackfish, I casted plugs with stripers. I did so many things with this rod, it was unbelievable. But Alex, there's also an actual tuna jigging rod in this series too. So tell us about that.
This is a two-part family. We have Rift Salt and Rift Jig. So Rift Salt, which is what you got in your hand there, we have models to do a little bit of everything. Versatile models, like you were saying, like a 7-foot, a 7.3,
right?
Where they'll let you do virtually whatever you want. And we really leaned on our staff in the Northeast, guys like Matt and others down in New Jersey, to help us develop this series for the Northeast fishery. But of course, they're versatile enough to use all up and down all the coastal markets. So Rift is using our SC3 carbon. So if you were to compare this to like Mojo Salt or Mojo Jig, the first thing you're gonna feel is it's a lot lighter weight. It's just a more modern approach as well. It's got a slimmer grip, double locking reel seats, rubber gimbals. So they're just a very lightweight rod, but they've got so much power. Right. Again, in this series, we've got models that are very versatile to do a little bit of everything, but then we've got models for very specific purposes, like a 6.6 bottom fishing rod, a 7.10 heavy tuna popping rod. So there's a little bit of everything to cover all the bases. And then the sister series to Rift Salt would be Rift Jig. And Rift Jig, brand new series of jig rods for speed jigging for us. This is where I think St. Croix technology just really shines, because what we asked our engineers to do is give us rods that had all the lifting power that you would need for yellowfin tuna, bluefin tuna, but had tips that made a jig work in the water column much more easily. So when you're out there speed jigging all day, it can be fatiguing. So we wanted the rod to do the work for the angler. So what you'll find is that we've dialed these rods in for very specific types of fish. So this right here, this is a 5.8 heavy, and we've built this rod to handle fish up to 100 pounds. Right. And the reason that's important is because we want you to feel confident that we built the back end of these rods to lift that size of fish and have plenty of power. But they're a little bit different, where you might see that this gram rating is a little bit lighter than what you might find on this style of a rod, because we wanted to work a jig better in the water column.
So first time tuna fisherman going into a tackle shop, going to buy a rod like this, I just thought it was amazing, because I've never actually seen it before, where they label the rod for the pound of the fish that they're going after. You know, and usually like that gets a little confusing, what rod do I use to what fish, but you guys really simplified it with that labeling, and I thought that was pretty cool. It's simple, but
it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because if you walk into a shop and you say, I want to chase a 200-pound bluefin tuna, why is someone handing you a 400 gram rod or a 450 gram rod or a 500 gram rod? Yes, we know it's the right rod, but why? Especially if I'm only dropping.
From an angler's perspective, who hasn't done this before, you kind of have to question that. But you guys definitely simplified it on the angler end, who is just getting into this game.
And especially if you're only dropping 225 grams, we want that to work, that normal average gram rating, better in a heavy power rod. So we've got a 5.6 extra heavy that will whoop a 200-pound bluefin's butt. And then we've got everything down to like what we call a 35-pound fish rod for sea bass and other things like that.
Well, I have to say, just in time for the takeoff of our yellowfin and bluefin fishery. It's getting hot right now as we speak. I'm getting reports day by day. You guys have these rods coming out just for that?
So the launch date will be October 1.
Okay.
But these are on the water right now in New York and New Jersey.
Okay, getting tested.
And they're past the testing.
Okay.
We're at the phase now where everyone's like, give me that. I want to have these. So there's a few out there that that we've got out to our guys, and they're loving them. So we're excited for the rest of you guys to see them.
Well, the fall and going into 2023,
you got it.
Keep an eye out for these rods. Keep an eye out for the tuna run. These rods and the tuna run are going to go hand in hand. Alex, excellent stuff.
Thanks, Matt.
You as always,
appreciate it.
man.
Thank you,
really
everyone.
Appreciate it.